Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining Ultimate Creative once again for another conversation with an expert. Today, first of all, I'm Danielle, and today we have with us Jewel Odejimi, and she is in the Greenbelt, Maryland area with Arinity Health and Wellness. She is a health and wellness coach and really an expert in that area. She spent many years already in the healthcare industry and just with working with lots of people on getting them where they need to be health wise and also wellness wise. And we're talking mental and physical. So, Jewel, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Danielle. Lovely introduction. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, I've been in the health and wellness space and the medical space for quite a while. In addition to being a certified health and wellness coach, I am also and have had experience as a certified nursing assistant and a certified medication technician. And I do stress the difference between the health and wellness space and the medical space because they are both health, but they're
Yeah.
quite different. One is more holistic, one is more disease oriented. And even, having gone through training of both of those sides of the whole health field, you really see a difference in how you look at the client and how you approach the client. They're both, they're similar in a way, but also very different. The perspective is a little different. I'm happy to be here, honestly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we're always happy to have you. We've had several conversations offline, off this video and leading up to today. But I definitely wanted to have you on here because you tend to deal with lots of entrepreneurs, specifically female, if I'm not wrong here. And you have seen some trends and some things that deal with our mindset around wellness and how we tend to operate. So, what can you tell the ladies out there specifically who are entrepreneurs and they are trying to do better with their health? They're trying to be more mindful about what they're putting into their bodies. What types of things do they need to keep in mind so they not only have a good start, but they're able to maintain that?
So, when it comes to entrepreneurs and female entrepreneurs specifically, one thing that I always start off with is just emphasizing the importance of contributing to your health and wellness, in the same with the same level of urgency and significance that you contribute to the things around you. I do tend to
Okay.
notice women and men as well, but I tend to see this in women a lot. They will help everything and maintain everything around them except themselves, right? And
Yep.
you cannot pour from an empty glass. And that's like my mantra. I say that all the
Yeah.
time. You cannot pour from an empty glass.
Yes.
A lot of times people want to excel at everything that they do, but and I see sometimes
Mhm.
people don't understand that to get to a point of excelling, you have to put your all into yourself as well, right? I've encountered some individuals who feel
Yes.
this is selfish or they shouldn't take time for themselves. And I beg to differ, honestly. I
Mhm.
do. If one of your goals is being a wonderful, let's say you own a hair salon, and that is your business. That's something that requires a level of stamina and energy. You're on your feet. When you feel
Yes.
better, when you're in a better mood, when you release more endorphins in your brain and the serotonin and all those lovely, amazing bioterms that I won't get too much into. I don't want to confuse anyone, but once you've
Oh,
done
that's
that, you
okay.
you find that you do better. Especially a creative job like that, your mind and body being in a good place is actually
Mm.
really, really beneficial. And even if it's not a super creative job and it's a more cognitive
Okay.
job, your mind and body being aligned is something that you really, really want. Honestly, that's the thing is no matter what it is you're doing, you have to remember that to do
Yeah.
your best at that, you have to give yourself your best as well.
Yes. Very, very true. And you're right. We tend to ignore ourselves and make sure everybody else is taken care of to the point that we will skip meals sometimes or just nibble on a little
Mhm.
something that's usually not good for us. But we do it anyway, knowing that it's wrong. But it's like, well, I got to eat
Yeah.
something. So, how do you? I know you are very involved with your family. I'm not sure if you're a mom as of yet, but I know that family is very close, near and dear to you. And so I'm sure you stay busy with them. How do you keep yourself from just noshing on whatever's lying around?
Well, for that, I tend to just, when it comes to my diet, and everyone starts at a different place. I have come to a place with my diet where I just have experience at this point. Trial and error has led me to a place where I know what works for me and what doesn't work for me. Um,
Okay.
so in terms of, I just try not to keep certain things around. Like if I know, or if you know that you love Oreos, try not to
Oh,
keep
yeah.
it around. But the thing is, I know how that's not necessarily realistic for everyone. Um, One of
Hmm.
the things I like to do when it comes to things like that, if you have a craving, but you know you tend to go overboard on that craving, I sometimes recommend to people that they try and find an alternative to that craving that tastes similar. So, for instance, almonds are great for you, but they're very calorie
Uh-huh.
dense, right? And I used to do this thing all the time where I ate way too many almonds. Like I would just go through almonds like they were nothing. And almonds, while they are filled with healthy
Okay.
fats and they're great for you, too much of anything can be bad. So what I started doing was
Yes.
instead of getting roasted salted almonds, I would get raw almonds. I would just eat raw almonds, which was to me it wasn't, I didn't like it enough to like go crazy on them, but it was good enough to satisfy my almond craving, right? I didn't hate it, I didn't
Okay.
dislike it. That's not, I don't preach doing things you dislike, but it didn't make me like go crazy, you know what I mean? You know those foods where you take them and then you feel like you have to like stop yourself because you feel like if you start you won't be able to
Hmm.
stop. Honestly, what I find is having those like alternative snacks is very helpful for that. That's honest. That's the first thing I tell people who talk about that. And also, when it comes to minimizing snacking as well, fill up on water. Water greatly reduces appetite.
Mm.
I drink some usually between 2 and 4 liters a day, so that's about a half gallon to a full gallon a day. And then you want to fill up on fiber and
Okay.
protein and healthy fats at your meals because these are all things that fill you up. Honestly, when you have a protein based diet and you have fiber in there and healthy fats in there, and you're drinking a decent amount of water, like those four pillars keep your appetite pretty suppressed just because those are very filling things and they help stabilize your blood glucose, helps with your cravings, and keeps you just from overeating in general and from over snacking in general.
Okay. Okay. So we need to be taking in lots of water
Yeah.
and just keeping the right things around
To the
us.
best of your ability.
That's what it
Yes, to
sounds
the
like
best of your
mainly.
ability. Because
Yeah.
I completely understand that if you have little ones
Gotcha.
and they want a particular thing, you're not going to want to deprive them of what they like because you are, adopting a different kind of diet. I completely understand that. I completely understand that. And to me, I am definitely one of those everything in moderation type of people. I don't believe in lack. I don't believe in over restricting
Okay.
yourself. I don't think it's realistic for most people. In my experience, it just doesn't, for most
Mhm.
people, it doesn't always work out well in the end. Whenever I recommend something to someone, I don't
Yeah.
just make recommendations based on, if you do this for 2 weeks, these are the results. I look at it more from if you did this for a year, how realistic is it? Because I have seen a lot of people base their
Mhm.
recommendations and show results based on 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, worth of doing a particular thing. But then the problem is the reason they don't go beyond 4 weeks of results to show to the public is because a lot of people can't maintain it past 4 weeks. And I don't believe. Yeah,
Mm,
I don't believe in that. If it didn't
okay.
work for a few months at least, and then you're able to make it a habit from there, I don't like to talk about it too much.
Okay. So we need to create good habits
Oh yeah,
and slowly build on that. Start
that's
small, start
that's
slow.
very important. That's very important. I think, and I say this all the time, people tend not to give themselves enough time to transition when they are trying to implement or begin a new lifestyle. This can be
Mm,
physical or mental health related. Um, but
okay.
we're coming to the end of 2021, and a lot of people are making New Year's resolutions, and I think that that's wonderful, and it's great to have goals that you're working toward. But I do say when you wake up January 1st on 2022, you'll be the same person, right? You'll still be you. And you may be
Yeah.
you with a lot more motivation than normal. And you will, feel inspired to do certain things. And that's great. But there is such a thing as motivation to the point where it's not that realistic. You know, when you're crazy motivated to do something, and it's great to be motivated, but then you in that high of that motivation, you make goals that are so outlandish, and then in the event that you don't actually achieve
Mhm.
those goals, you feel so bad, and then you don't even want to do it anymore, and it's
Yeah.
not healthy. It's really not healthy. Now, make
Mhm.
goals, feel inspired, but don't rely on constant motivation to achieve your goals because motivation tends not
Mm,
to be stable in everyone. You're going to wake up days and not be as motivated as you were yesterday, but that shouldn't be the reason you cannot keep working toward your goals.
yeah.
So that's why I focus more on habit building
Absolutely.
than motivation in the long term. Motivation is fantastic for getting you started. Motivation is great for boosting your energy and boosting your inspiration. But at the end of the day, there's going to be days, like I said, you're going to wake up, you're just not going to want to do certain things. But once it's a habit and it's like second nature to you, you'll be fine. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. Motivation, you're saying, basically is
All the
not
time.
sustainable.
Mhm.
It's good to get you going, but something else has
Yes,
gotta keep you.
motivation is what gets a lot of people in the door, but habit is what allows them to actually stay and achieve their goals.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. It kind of puts me in the mind of relationships. When you're developing a relationship with someone, their appearance may appeal to you or something may motivate you to go over and talk to them
Mhm.
or to start, a relationship with them. But what's going to keep you, say, married for 50 years
Mhm.
is going to be the friendship, the building of trust, all of those things that take work and take time and take a lot of thought.
Mhm.
So yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Oh yeah.
For those who are watching, for those who are watching us, um, what is one thing that you would tell them to do since we're coming up on the holiday? We're right in the holiday season now. We've just had Thanksgiving and, we have the other winter holidays right around the corner. Um, what is something that they can do going into this holiday season as a busy entrepreneur that will help them stay on track? Um, whether they're doing this by themselves or they want to grab a business buddy and do it with them. Um, what can they do to not just start these good habits, but if they started now, how could they last past December, past Christmas, and bypass all the stuff that they shouldn't, be consuming too much?
So with the holidays, I definitely understand that temptation may be stronger around this time of year. Um, Honestly, it really just boils back down to the principle of allow yourself to transition. And I think that when
Mm,
people really grasp that concept of it's okay if I'm not perfect on day one or day two or day three, allow yourself to transition. Your
mhm,
success is really to me based in are you doing better? this week or this month than you were doing last week or last month. And I don't even say day to day because day to day
Mhm.
can also be quite unstable. So I look at it more of week to week,
Yeah.
month to month. And I think that same thing. If you if you again fill up on water, keep your protein, your healthy fats, your fiber, you will likely just not consume the things as much. Notice I say as much. I'm not saying don't have, treats. Don't treat yourself. It's December, it's Christmas season, it's the end of the year. Like I said, restriction is not my thing. I don't believe in it. I don't endorse people who encourage it. I understand Christmas.
Yeah.
I would never say restrict yourself, hide in the closet till January 1st, and come up with your New Year's resolution. Never, no, I wouldn't do that. But what I would say is think of your goals for January 1st and think of how you can work toward them now. So if you know that you want to start exercising 30 minutes a day come
Yeah.
January 1st, you can start now with 10 minutes a day. You don't have to make these huge 180
Mhm.
changes in your life to get started on a goal. And the mentality that you do have to start with these huge changes is what keeps a lot of people back in the long run. Because that mental threshold to start
Mm.
doing something their body or their mind is not used to at all, especially when it's a high or intimidating number that they're not used to
Mhm.
seeing, it makes it your mind sort of automatically sort of recedes into itself and you resist it a little bit and you have to like fight your way mentally to and sometimes physically depending on what it is to get through it. And
Yes.
I think that lowering that threshold, that
Mhm.
barrier to entry a little bit makes it much easier. Understand that
Yeah.
um, your efforts sort of compound on each other and starting, if your goal is to start exercising 30 minutes a day come January 1st, you can, rather than having the goal start on January 1st, you can have two goals. Your first goal could be to work up to 30 minutes a day on January 31st or by January 1st rather. And
Ah.
then you can resume your original goal, which was
Yeah.
continue the 30 minutes a day, January 1st onward, if that is what you do. If New Year's resolution are a major motivating factor for you, then work with it. Don't ignore it. Work with it, but just
Yeah.
have like a preliminary goal beforehand, so that way there's a transition. You're going to be a lot more likely to
Okay.
actually stick to it when you do it that way.
Okay. So it sounds like biting off bite-sized pieces is basically what you're saying, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Hmm. Yes, yes. Do what is actually sustainable for you. And it sounds so simple. Like I know it sounds so simple. Like it's something that no one should struggle with. But honestly, our
Mhm.
minds, especially when we're super motivated, want to just shoot for the stars, and that is wonderful. And you can shoot for the stars, and you will get there, and you will achieve your goal. But how you get there and how you start is really, really important.
Mhm.
It's not. I don't think.
Okay,
I don't
that
think it's
sounds
meant to
really
be that
good.
hard. I think that. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that sometimes people
No, you're right.
have this struggle mentality, and I have a guide on that struggle mentality, which is to achieve a good thing or to achieve a great thing, you have to struggle and it has to be hard and you have to hate the process. But the point is, by the time you get to the end of the line, it'll be worth
Mm.
it. And I personally don't believe in that. I think that if you allow yourself to transition, you won't have to go through all of that. I feel like that mentality makes it harder to accept ease and peace in your life where you could have actually had some peace. You kind of just shove it to the side when you say, no, it's
Yes.
not supposed to be easy. I'm supposed to struggle. That's not true. Who told you that? Don't do that to yourself. It's not healthy.
Right.
That mentality,
So why do you think we do that?
honestly, I think it's because, oh, that's a good question. Why do we do that? I think because we just assume that the people who have achieved great things are somehow better than us. And to reach their level, we have to
Mm.
do things that we don't consider to be normal. People don't consider exercising for an hour every day normal. The normal average person doesn't do that. So, but some people associate that with, people who are just amazing and great at life. So that becomes your goal to do that. But I'm like, the people who do that didn't start out that way. They started at a normal person's level. I feel like people see, let's see, trainers or celebrities or whoever it is that they're looking at as motivation or for comparison purposes, they have this, people have this thing where they just sort of put these individuals on a pedestal. And I believe that contributes to the mentality that to get to where they are, we have to do what they do, forgetting that they're normal human beings just like us and they had a transition period too. It's just that people don't necessarily show their transition period online, on Instagram, on TikTok. People just show the good parts. People just show the, oh, look at me, I just lost 50 pounds. They didn't wake up 50 pounds lighter, or look at me, I just ran 10 miles. I promise you, they couldn't run 10 miles their whole life. They had to start somewhere, right? And you need to remember that you are starting somewhere. Be proud of yourself for the little things. Be proud for even starting. So many people try so hard just to start and cannot even get past the mental shift in allowing themselves to start. So understand that just starting is a huge win, and you should be proud of yourself for that. And look at your accomplishments, even if you think it's small, look at your accomplishments and be happy for that. Be happy you achieved that, and use that energy and that motivation from that win to propel you forward so you can keep going.
Okay, so that reminds me of how we are actually looking at things online, on social media, and all of that. And we are looking at how other businesses are doing things and how they seem to be so successful. And we're seeing the highlight reel, really. So it's easy to get discouraged by that when you're looking at the wrong thing and you're not keeping in mind that they're not putting everything up there for the world to see, and rightfully so. They're not going to put their big fails up there, but they are failing too sometimes. So we can't get discouraged by that either. Just like we can't get discouraged by, um, seeing somebody who is doing all this stuff physically, athletically, and we're not there yet. It's okay. Keep going. From what I'm hearing you say, keep going and we will get there. They didn't start where they are now. We're looking at a lot of work having been put in for them to be where they are now.
Oh, of course, 110%. Don't base how you feel about anyone based on how they are portrayed online. It is, especially on social media, it's not the most realistic place,
No.
to compare things. A lot of things for the sake of social media. Social media is entertainment, just like any other industry. It's entertainment, and people will post what people want to see. If people don't want to
Yes.
see you struggling in your business, then that's just not what people will post. And people tend to be more motivated um, by people, posting all their wins and posting all the great things. It doesn't mean that there aren't less than ideal situations that can come up. And if it happens to you,
Yes.
if you're going through a situation you didn't plan for or didn't necessarily want, don't think that it's only you. It is absolutely not only you. It's just that other people just don't
Yes.
highlight it. Other people don't highlight all of that and just talk about every single aspect. A lot of times, they have a portfolio of what they're proud of, and that is really all they will show you. And it's just an outward appearance to look a certain way online,
Hmm.
just like, when you apply to any job, for instance, and you have a resume, you don't put your fails on your resume. You put your wins.
Right.
You're trying to make the best possible impression. Okay. You're not going to put, anything bad on your resume. You're not going to put your bad day at work that you had, 2 years ago on your resume because, it's
Right.
not necessarily what people want to see. People just want to, people are more inclined to give positive feedback to the things that are more motivational and inspirational. And on that note, I'm a big believer in, if you have something on your social media feed that is not serving you, remove it. Tell the algorithm you don't like it. You can usually on different platforms,
Yes.
there's something you can say, or put in that's like, I'm not interested, or don't show me these kinds of posts, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, Purge your social media of anything that discourages you or brings down your energy. Just remove it. Don't think twice about it. If it makes you uncomfortable, remove it. Now, that's if it makes you uncomfortable. Things related to other people's businesses and their, health goals and things like that, to me, I've always found inspirational. If you're in a space mentally where it's not motivating you and it's making you feel worse, it's actually demotivating you because you may be comparing yourself to this person and you feel like, they're doing better than you and you wish you were that way, remove that.
Mm.
If you need to follow channels or accounts that will give you motivational quotes or whatever it is that you need, follow those instead. Your social media is really important. People tend to spend hours and hours on social media every day. So if you're going to spend that much time on social media or, whatever media you're consuming, make sure it's boosting your energy, not dragging you down. When you're an entrepreneur, you are responsible for way too much to let your energy
Yes.
messed with. Okay, you
There you go.
have to be stable. You have to put yourself in a position where you you are motivated as much as you can be, making realistic goals still, and not having your emotions go up and down, up and down. You want to do your best to keep your mind and your body relatively stable, right? So don't follow things on social media that dwindle your energy, or, and by energy I don't mean actual physical stamina. I mean mentally make you feel, a certain
Mhm.
kind of way. You know, make sure that you are actually,
Negative.
yeah, negative. Don't consume negative media. And negative media doesn't have to be presented as negative media. If it makes you feel negative in any sort of way, just
There you
remove
go.
it from your life as best as you can. And that's not just social media, anything really. Do your best to protect your energy. That is my sort of number one tip to every single person I come across. Protect your energy. Protect your energy at all costs. That is what I even talk
Mm.
about. That's what I really mean when I talk about putting time into yourself so you can excel at everything else that you do. That's you protecting your energy. Energy is fluid. Energy comes in, energy goes out. When you're giving to everything around you, you are giving your energy away, but you need to allow it to replenish itself. You
Mm.
need to allow it to come back in. And that's how you refill the empty glass so you can continue pouring, right? You can't pour from you can't
There we
pour from an
go.
empty glass. Okay, you have to refill it. So it's the same concept. Let energy
Mm.
flow in as it's flowing out. It can't just flow out, okay? It has to replenish.
Very true and very good advice. Thank you for that. So you mentioned that you had a guide a little bit earlier. Can you tell us what it's called? Tell us a little bit about it and how we can get it?
I have I have several guides. I have guides for weight loss.
Okay.
I have guides for weight loss. I've lost over 150 pounds, and I've gone through so
Wow.
much to lose the weight, and I'm not done. I'm still losing. But it's been such an
Okay.
up and down and up and down. But and by up and down, I just mean trial and error with different things throughout my life. But I'm very proud of my weight loss and everything that I've learned
Yeah.
in that time. I've I preach to people a lot about that. So I have guides for energy. I have guides for weight loss. I have guides for self care and mental wellness and stress management. And
Okay.
you can get a lot of these guys from my website. If you reach out to me on social media, I can also send them to you. A lot of times they are on my Facebook and my Instagram accounts. It really just,
Okay.
I usually have some guy, depending on what I'm talking to. I love to offer free resources. Okay, I am not one of those going to pay me just to say 5 words type of people. I hate those types of people. I love,
Yeah.
like, honestly, there's no reason to be, so. in your face with stuff like that. I have tons of free guides and resources that I think everybody should have, everybody should use. And I do have a Facebook group where I go more in depth in a lot of the
Okay.
guides, and people are able to speak to me about the guides, and talk to me and ask me questions. I love answering questions. I can sit and just talk and answer questions about health and wellness and all of that for hours and hours. It takes effort for me to stop
Awesome.
talking, honestly. So
Well, what's the name of the Facebook group so they can look you up?
it's called Your Health Haven, and it is your health haven. It's not mine. It's all of ours, but it's especially yours. And that's why I love that name, because
Yeah,
it's your health haven, right? And
your
it's
health haven.
yeah, and it's gonna say group by Jewel Odejimi, which is me, and you can find it on Facebook. It's a Facebook group.
Okay. All right, your health haven. I'm just gonna put this up on the screen so everyone can see it. We know how to spell it. We can look for it.
I Do you want me to send like a link to it?
And yeah, that would be great if you wouldn't mind doing that. We will add that and make sure it's accessible to everyone.
Yes.
All right. All right. Well, Jewel, like I said, everyone, she is in the Greenbelt, Maryland area. So are you taking new clients right now?
Oh, yes, of course. I'm definitely taking new clients. And yes, I am based in Greenbelt, Maryland, but most of what I do is very virtual, um, especially since
Okay.
COVID, especially since the pandemic started.
Yeah.
Big, huge shift to virtual. Although, to be fair, I was decently virtual prior, but now I'm almost 100% virtual at this time. It really depends on, what service you want. But a lot of
Hmm.
what I do is virtual, and I love it because it makes me super accessible to everyone. There's no
There you go.
wall. I'm here. You can always reach me. You can always send me a message, ask me a question. I am very much accessible all the time. And I love that about the virtual and the online.
Yes, yes. Same here. I love being able to get to my clients wherever they are and whenever, we can link
Hmm.
up. Whenever, as long as it's convenient for both of us, we can do it and it gets done. And so I know what you
Yes.
mean. Okay, Jewel. Well, thank you so much for providing that insightful, very helpful information for us. I think I can speak for all of us watching when I say that we appreciate that and we're going to need it because Christmas is real.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Yes. Yes. Meditate. I didn't mention that.
Yes.
Meditation is really helpful, and it'll calm your mind down, right? Honestly.
Mm,
And you don't have to know anything about meditation to start. Literally, you can go on YouTube for free and just search guided meditation to get started. It's very easy to get the ball rolling with things. So just start. Okay, just start. It doesn't
hmm,
have to be a hour long medication. I mean meditation. It can be very easily 5 minutes. It can be very easily 3 minutes. Whatever it takes. And just sample and see how you feel. You'd be surprised what breathing
okay.
can do for your anxiety levels. Just deep breathing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought I should leave on that note.
I've done that. Yes, yes, yes. I've done that before and it does make a difference. So that's something I'll be doing more of.
Yes. Yes. It's actually wonderful.
Well, thank you. Yes. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for being here and adding your expertise to what we do here at Ultimate Creative. For those who don't know, I'm a publicist and communications consultant. And if you have a need for that service, just hit me up. You can find us at Ultimate Creative, no E on the end. And that's on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Get in touch with us today to find out how you can advertise your products and services.